Guys, I want to share with you something. Most people that work on themselves, that have become conscious of their own karma and of their things that mm, they want to release from the past, they make things very complicated. So they go from one session to the next, from one breathwork session to the next, from one Kundalini session to the next, from one ayahuasca session to the next. It doesn't matter. They're literally like, or they're constantly working on themselves. And there is something super interesting that they're making this extremely complicated, and then they're making this an infinite, never-ending process. But when you truthfully look at what is at the end of this kind of like, or the reason for this kind of work, it's actually all about self-love, right? Because anything that you in your energy field you don't integrate, and anything that it doesn't feel harmonious, it's kind of like you wonder how to get rid of it, right? And in spiritual awakening, you don't worry about that at all. You become just aware of the untouchable, infinite, untraumatized beingness that you've always been. So the awakening is truly detaching from the body, the karma, and everything. But all of these body works have one thing in common, um, that the end goal is kind of a higher state of harmony. That's what you want. You don't want to be triggered all the time. You don't want to feel pain in your body and so forth. So you can skip basically the whole thing about doing energy work. I'm not saying it's bad. You can do it, but you can cut all the stuff and do it much quicker, and by going in the direction of self-love. And self-love is super easy, and I'm gonna explain also there's another reason why you should skip everything, because of the law of resonance and the law of attraction. So first of all, I say that you have to, or you can skip all of these things and just close your eyes for 5 minutes and think about what will give me higher harmony right now. It could be something small, making yourself a tea, going for a walk. It might be anything. And that's self-love. And doing something that gives you less harmony, like this harmony, is self-hate. It's very simple, and I explained this on one of my YouTube channels already, and somebody told me thank you so much for the video, because they never really understood self-love on a simple level. It's easy to love someone emotionally, but how do you love yourself? It's just acts, microscopic and macroscopic acts of kindness to your own energy field, basically. What is more harmonious right now for my energy field? Oh, I'm just going to book a massage, I'm going to book a wellness retreat, I'm going to eat well, anything. It could be big or small, as long as it's increasing your harmony field. And as long as you do that constantly and consistently and persistently without compromise, then you're moving further and further into the field of self-love. And it's actually very simple, because you can do it anytime, at any moment and place, with everything. You don't need much at your disposal. And so that's one thing. But most people act on self-hate. They constantly do compromises with other people, move into feeling worse and so forth, because they feel they're obligated to do that. It has to do a lot with obligation. So you have to make a conscious choice for it. You have to say, okay, this is the way I'm going. I'm going to be a self-loving person, and I'm not going to compromise with it. And thereby you move into the strongest field of law of resonance, because like attracts like, but this self-love is at a very high amplitude, this frequency, because self-hate is a low amplitude. So the moment you made the decision for this, you instantly heal also yourself. And anytime in your mind that you need to, if you think you need something else, then you're actually putting stones in your way. And that is super interesting. I'm not saying like shadow work and all these things don't work, and I think they can push you forward as well. But I noticed at a certain frequency, when you recognize this learning that I've just given you, you recognize that all the other things are kind of bullshit. You've made it way too complicated. And because the law of resonance will give you anyway what you need at that moment in time. And you always choose for higher harmony. And as you move through that field, you will notice that you are becoming more open, more loving, also towards others, naturally, because that has become your vibration. And then you start to attract, the thing is, you start to attract things that that serve you, and not an idealistic or materialistic thing of what you think serves you. In the sense, like, it will serve, say for example, your joy, more love, and all of this stuff, rather than, unnecessary materialistic abundance which you might not even need. You might get it as well, but it's not a necessary thing. You're 80 years maybe on this earth. Maybe with II it's gonna be 160 or something, I don't know. But it's a limited time nonetheless. And so it's about evolution of your soul plan. The whole thing is about evolution of your soul plan. And one of the fastest ways of evolution is by recognizing that you can be in pure self-love. And meddling with other souls when you are not yourself in self-love is an immense time waster. You're wasting your time here on earth by meddling with other souls when you yourself are not in your highest field of harmony. And it's kind of like the help yourself before you help others kind of idea. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you and see what comes up next.